This video is standard NS.2. It's going to be on page 4 in our notes. I'm using black and blue are the two colors for my notes today. So you're going to write NS2. This standard is dividing. Today we are just going to be dividing with remainders. We've already done the dividing without remainders where they were evenly divisible. So this one is dividing numbers with remainders. And write that at the top. In 5th grade, sometimes you would write R5 if you had a remainder. We are not going to be writing R. We are going to express all of our answers as a decimal and as a fraction, and we're actually going to call the fraction a mixed number. So the directions are express your answer as a decimal and fraction, but I'm going to call the fraction a mixed number, meaning that it is a whole number with a fraction. It's not mixed because I mixed it up. It is a whole number with a fraction. So I'm going to switch colors to the other color in my notes. Remember, if I go too fast, you can always pause. The first example, I want you to skip a line in your notes here and write 762 divided by 12. Oh, sorry, divided by 16. I've already messed up. 762 divided by 16. Apologize for that. And you remember when we're dividing, the first number goes in and the second number goes out. And I'm going to write this. I want to come down another line. Let's give 1, 2, third line down. So the 762 divided by, trace this blue line here, 16. And with the other color, I want to put a line above the 7, the 6, and the 2 for a place value holder. And the reason why I'm giving you 2 lines here is to give 2 lines for your answer. So when you're dividing, you're trying to figure out how many groups of, go back to the black marker, how many groups of 16 would go into 7, and they don't. Some people put an X or a 0 here. How many groups of 16 would go into 762? And you may not know how many groups of 16, so you might have to multiply out to the side. Now, not right here because this is where your answer is going to be, but maybe over to the side here, you could try 16 times 4. Maybe just give a shot. Try 16 times 4. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2, 5, 6, 64. Now, is that close to 76 without going over? Yes. So we're going to put a 4 right here above the 6. 4 times 16 gave us 64. We're going to line that up, subtract, trace the blue line. 6 minus 4 is 2. 7 minus 6 is 1, and you need to bring down the 2. Now you're looking at how many groups of 16 go into 122. And I know it's more than 4. I'm going to guess it's more than 5. I'm not really sure. So you might have to try to the side here, like 16 times maybe 7. You try 7 out to the side here. And you don't need to erase any of this work. This is good to leave this. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7. When you add 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. 112. Is that as close as we can get to 122 without going over? Yes. So you put a 7 above the 2, nice and neat in that space. 7 times 16 was 112. You're going to put those right here. Subtract, trace the blue line. 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1, and I have 10, and I have nothing right now to bring down here. So what I like to do right now is I like to circle my remainder, and I'm going to change colors to circle this. Circle my remainder nice and neat, and I'm going to rewrite my whole number 47 right up above it in this space. 47, that's my whole number. Then I'm going to make a fraction bar. My 10 is my remainder, which comes up to the top of my fraction. And what goes underneath of it? 16, what I'm dividing by. So I have 47 and 10/16. And if you know 10/16 is not simplified, that's not simplest form, you could divide each one of these by a number to make the fraction smaller. And if you divide both by 2, then my new answer ends up being 47, and now my fraction gets smaller. 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. 16 divided by 2 gives me 8. So one of my answers, a mixed number, is 47 and 5/8. Now I'm going to continue on. I'm going to use the blue. I'm going to continue this on and make it a decimal. So right now I have 10. I have nothing to bring down. So this is the part where we make it a decimal. We put a decimal behind the 2 in the problem, and then we put a 0 in the problem. The decimal goes straight up into our answer. Straight up into our answer. We need another place value holder above this 0, and then this 0 comes down as something you would bring down. So now you have 100. How many times does 16 go into 100? Well, 7 was too many times. That was 112. So now you need to try 16 times something less than 7, like 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 1 is 6, and then you add 3, you get 9. 96 is pretty close to 100 without going over. So right here in this place, you're going to put a 6. 6 times 16 was 96, and you need to subtract. Sometimes I find it easier to count up than it is to sit here and borrow. Like 96, if I counted up to 100, 97, 98, 99, 100, that's 4. If you want to borrow, you certainly can. Sometimes I just like to count up. If you were going to borrow, that would be a 0. This would be a 10. Now it's a 9, and now this 0 is a 10. You see, it's just a lot more work. 10 minus 6 would have still gotten you 4. Now you're not done. You still have a remainder, so you need to add another 0 to the problem, another place value above it, and bring this 0 down. And now how many groups of 16 go into 40? So I don't have an answer over here. 4 is too many. So you might need to try, let's try 16 times 2 over to the side. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, 32. That's pretty close to 40 without going over. So I need to put a 2 up here. 2 times 16 was 32. I'm ready to subtract, trace the blue line, or count up from 32 to 40. I know when I count up I get 8. I have to add another 0. I am not done with this problem. Another place value holder, and the 0 comes down. Notice these lines are nice and straight coming down. They're not going crazy over here. And every time I'm tracing the blue line and I'm putting the subtraction sign. So when I bring this 0 down, now I have 80. And none of my answers are 80. I actually need to try another one here. 16 times 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, and when I add 3, that's exactly 80. That's the one I'm looking for. So 16 times 5, you're going to write that, and that above that line, 5 times 16 is 80. And when I subtract, I finally end with zeros. I am finally done with this problem. So I have 2 answers here. One of them was a decimal, and one of them was a mixed number. So nice and neat, I'm going to write those 2 answers up above. We had 47 and 5/8, or 47.625. Those are both the same answer. If you were to plot them on a number line, they are the exact same number. One of them is just expressed in the fraction form, and one of them is expressed in the decimal form. We're going to kind of draw a line in our notes here to kind of divide what we've already done.